Welcome to the Clockwork Percussion podcast. Today's guest is Ryan Ratfield.
Hi, Max.
Hi. Thanks for coming by.
This is fun.
Hell yeah, man.
I always thought I would be on a podcast with you one of these days, Max.
Really?
And here I am.
We've made it.
We've made it.
Cool. So yeah, the idea is just to get to know you as a drummer a little bit better. And first thing I got for you is what got you started on drums?
Oh man. Well, you know, it's like every drummer. Every drummer starts on a pot and pan. You know, I think the difference between drummers when they first are interested in the idea of percussion and rhythm is what is there going to be their kick drum? You know, I feel like everybody had the pot and pans and the wooden spoons, you know, but my kick drum when I was a kid was a laundry basket.
Ooh.
So I'd set up the pots and pans on my bed, and then it was a little laundry basket. And I think I want to say, I always tell people this story. I don't know if it's true or not, but who cares? I think it was me seeing a video of Keith Moon when I was a kid on a TV somewhere and going, I want to do that
Hell
for
yeah.
the rest of my life. And I hope they pay me $1 million a year because that's what I'm going to be, that guy on the TV.
Very cool.
So I think it was Keith Moon.
So how did you kick the basket or did you have a pedal?
Sure.
You just kicked it
I moved, you know, I don't think I was smart enough to invent a drum, like a kick pedal, but I just kicked it with my foot. And, you know, whatever was playing on Star 98.7 at the time, I was playing drums to.
Nice.
You know?
Some
Just turned up
semi-charmed life.
Oh, you know, little 10,000 Maniacs or Paula Cole. You know, whatever was popular in 1995.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, and then your parents shelled out the cash for a kit.
I started with a snare drum.
Ooh, okay.
You know,
Relegated to the snare.
When a kid asks for a puppy, we get a goldfish. You know, you start with the goldfish, then we'll work our way to a tarantula. And then if you can take care of a parakeet, we'll think about getting you a dog. So I got a snare drum, and I had that for like 6 years. That's all I had.
What kind of snare drum?
It was just a beginner's snare drum, a kind you would find at a Goodwill.
Okay.
You know, just a no-name aluminum snare drum. And then a couple guys, Todd Hawes and Clay Witter, in 7th grade, they were looking for a drummer. They knew I played the snare. I had a snare drum. They didn't know I only had a snare drum. And they asked me if I played the drums and they needed a drummer. And I said, yeah, I'll play drums for you guys. And then when I got home, Mom, I need you to buy me a drum kit, and I need you to buy it for me quick. So we got a sound percussion drum kit from Guitar Center for, you know, $200, and it came with the cheapest cymbals. And then that's got me started.
What was that band called?
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
And only one person in the band liked that name, and it was our bass player.
A Christian? Was it a fucking church?
It was the bass player's dad, who was very wealthy and really wanted us to be called Crossroads, and he bought us drum. He bought me he brought me drum heads with the name Crossroads on it.
Whoa.
He bought stickers, and we just kind of went, I guess we're Crossroads now.
Eric Clapton,
that
was the thing, right?
I thought it was a little too dumb.
Yeah, pretty on the nose.
It was a little too on the nose, even for 7th graders.
How long did that band last?
Oh, on and off for like 2 years. We used to do like cover shows. We had a club called Club Showcase in high school, and anybody who was in a band could sign up and play. And they had the little theater at Corona Del Mar High School, and they let us use it for a couple hours every month at night, and parents would come, and we had a PA, and it was a great place to see, you know, all these kids that went to our high school whose band was way better than ours. We had a great time.
Very cool.
That was it.
Okay. So what are you doing now with drums?
Oh, I love that you have the most inexperienced drummer on your drumming podcast. I'm not doing anything. I've been playing a little with my girlfriend. She plays guitar. She's a great singer. Played with her once, and she got me some new cymbals, which we're gonna try out later.
Looking forward to that.
And then because my cymbals were stolen a few years ago.
What happened?
I don't know. Somebody at the music school I worked at stole my. I had a drum bag, and I think somebody borrowed them because they thought they was the school's and just never brought it back.
Wow.
So I lost, thousands of dollars worth of cymbals. And now that my mom doesn't pay for my cymbals anymore, I'm looking at how expensive hi-hats are.
Yeah.
So starting from zero is kind of hard. But, I kind of fill in if somebody needs a drummer.
Okay.
I'm always around.
Cool. Do you still give lessons?
No, I stopped giving my last, I got fired from my music job.
Wow.
Did I ever tell you this?
No, what happened?
I got fired. They found out I couldn't read drum music.
Yeah.
6 years into hiring me at the music school, the boss sat in on my lessons all day. For the first time ever. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to sit in on your lessons today if that's all right. Take some notes." I went,
Oh shit.
uh-oh. He's the drummer for a very pseudo kind of famous punk band that I was a big fan of as a kid. Him and I didn't really get along very well, but I knew him sitting and listening and watching me give lessons. He was going to find out that I could not read. I mean, I know what the notes mean.
Right.
I just can't play along to drum music.
Sure.
My eyes can't translate that quick enough for my brain.
Yeah.
Same with video games. There's some video games that are too fast for me. I can't do it.
Dude, I'm the shittiest gamer out of the core group of my high school friends.
Oh, me too.
I was just like the fucking handicap on Halo, dude. They're just like, just kill Max, need some kills.
I was always just glad to be there.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah. Max, just bring the weed and a bunch of food, and we'll let you play.
Yeah, go sit over there. A little further. There we go, buddy. All right.
Well,
you're in this corner, okay?
You and I were in a band together, and we were always in bands.
Yeah.
Teenage years, 20s. So we got good at a real world skill, and I guess you can make money playing video games, but
I always looked forward to, I was very lucky to have very patient neighbors, very patient parents. And, I took drum lessons for about 2 or 3 months. But he made me read music too much. I just wanted to find a groove.
Yeah.
How do I find the one? Play me the song and I want to find the one. So he was a great teacher, great drummer, but my parents realized that they could invest in this thing for me because I would come home every day and I had my CD player and my studio headphones, and I just put in a CD and I would just play along to songs. So I was always into it. So if there's a drum kit around, I'm going to be playing it. So, I did something constructive when I got home,
Yeah.
more than just, I didn't do my homework. I did the homework that mattered.
Right. But you taught lessons for years.
I did.
Before that music school, you were going around to people's houses.
Yeah.
And, but it was also guitar and drums. Do you have any insight if someone were listening to this and they play drums and they're looking to get into teaching, what advice could you give them?
You always, anytime you teach music, and this is anytime you teach anything, is you have to gauge what they're interested in. You have to foster an interest before you teach any fundamentals. And you have to be interesting and fun as a person. I think where a lot of music teachers go wrong, or they go, it's not the wrong way to teach. It's just not my way of learning. So it's kind of hard to, gauge whether it's effective or not. But I think any teacher needs to be interested in the student and find out what they're interested in. So I would have at the music school, I would have the 3-year-olds. I would have a 3 or 4-year-old, he was my first student. I'd open the door, and his mom or dad would be there and like pointing at me like, this is your new drum teacher. And this kid is just kind of crying. He's really nervous. He doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't listen to any music. The only song he likes is from Minecraft. You know what I mean? Or like if it's a 10-year-old, the only band he likes is Imagine Dragons, which is like, it's a good start. It's a good start. So, with kids like that, you kind of go like, let's play We Will Rock You, So you have to find what they're interested in. And it's a great, like, drum lessons don't have to be just playing the drums. You could be talking about drums.
Right.
You could be talking about anything, and that's part of the lesson. It's not just, it's a history, you're teaching history too.
Yeah.
So
there's a philosophy behind it.
There's a whole philosophy behind it, and there's a joy in anything that you have to practice. So you have to point out that joy, So that's, for me, that always helped, because I don't really know how to read drum music. I never took a guitar lesson, and I taught guitars forever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to solo. I'm a great number 2 guitar player. A great number 2, not a number 1. And I was always okay with that. I get to a certain level, and then I tell the parents, I think they need a better teacher. I think it's time for them to move on. I got them started. Let somebody else, further their journey.
Yeah, can definitely respect that, especially getting young kids started. That can't be for everyone,
It's hard.
You have to be very patient and engaging, like you said.
Yeah, and the drums is easiest. Guitar was always like, if there's a 5-year-old kid coming in with like a Squire, you got from like the Squire pack, at Guitar Center,
for Christmas.
Yeah, and it's like cool. It's a great guitar. It's a great start. But I know guitar's a lot harder. To make a note, sing from a guitar. Sing. I just said sing. From a guitar. It's hard to just play a note.
Yeah.
Just to have them push down on the string, and the kid looks at their finger like, ow.
You have to do this
There's
every time.
There's a mark here.
Yeah.
Ow. I don't want, fuck this, But drums, every 3-year-old can play that on their first lesson.
Yep.
The second song they learn, dun 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 dun. They can learn that in 10 minutes.
Right.
10 minutes.
Wow.
Guitar, it takes, month 7, they're playing their second song, maybe. It's depending, obviously, how much they practice, but it just takes more discipline to play guitar. Drums, I can get a 3-year-old in here. I can get a 3-year-old to feel like, yeah, I want one of these, Mom.
Yeah.
It's
so true, and it just speaks to how innate rhythm is. It always kind of bugged me when people said they were like tone deaf, and I didn't understand that, but I think it really is true.
Yeah.
That there are tone deaf people, and it's like, fuck, that's depressing. But I like kind of refuse to believe that that there's a person out there that can't play drums to some capacity or like hold a beat. I think people will overthink it if like you're one of those people that like claps on 1 and 3,
Oh, like white people at a Bruce Springsteen show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm riffing.
You can't
off.
find the ones, huh?
Yeah. I think people overthink that, but I want to believe that rhythm is more natural than just like being able to sing or like carry a tune.
It's the most primitive of instruments.
Right.
The first way of communicating was communicating. It's a language. It was a language for, thousands of years.
Yeah.
So anyone can play the drums. It's very hard to stand out as a drummer. I think standing out that's where I think lessons kind of can either ruin a musician or really help them, is if the teacher allows them to foster their own unique personality behind their instrument rather than play like the way they want to play. That's where you're going to get the musicians that are like, yeah, they're good. They're really good. They're what's the what's the music school at MIT?
Berkeley.
No.
Oh, Juilliard.
No. Not the good one. No. You're
I
thinking.
think I know what you're talking about.
No, you see it. You see it in like ads for guitar player.
Oh,
Musicians. MI. So it's like good music, very good musicians, incredible musicians. Some, way better than me. But I feel like some of them are good because they've just practiced their, their sweeping
Rudiments and shit.
arpeggios.
Yeah.
And the rudiments, and they're incredible. But there's no swing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like.
Yeah.
Where are you?
There's no imprint. Yeah. No fingerprint on it.
That was, our favorite drummers, or our favorite musicians. We could tell who they are 10 seconds into the song.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's to your point a moment ago, is it's just a method of communication. And if you're communicating a textbook versus like your soul,
damn,
people are going to pick up on that shit.
Damn. Put that as the title for this show, huh? Can we cut that? Can we isolate that? So, Dylan behind the glass.
So have you ever tried DMT?
Dude, no.
That's crazy, man.
That's wild. No, I've never tried DMT. I've always wanted to, though. I've always wanted to try DMT. It just always seems too scary. I'm scared of drugs like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have this drive in me to do everything that I'm scared of. So if I'm afraid of heights, I'm just gonna go do some fucking crazy thing, just because I'm like, I gotta just do it.
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
I would.
It's dope.
I don't know if I would bungee jump. Bungee jumping seems a little too much for me. It's weird. I would trust a parachute over a bungee, but yeah, I would do it. Scared. If I'm scared of a show, I'm just gonna go play that show.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, we have to talk about Blind Boss because.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh shit. Blind Boss, baby.
You named that band, and then we played in it.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, I was reading about this guy's name's Blind Boss Buckley, and he was like a Tammany Hall. Tammany Hall was this political machine in New York in the 19th century, and it just churned out corrupt politicians. It was just like when you say Tammany, and for history majors, Tammany just means like corrupt, politicians. And he was his name, Blind Boss Buckley. I was like, that's a fucking cool name, Blind Boss. It can mean so many things.
Yeah.
Dude, you're still playing you're still playing under Blind Boss sometimes, yeah?
The most recent thing I did was a I Am the Walrus cover.
Oh yeah.
And I have to release that soon because it's done.
You told me about that. Why I Am the Walrus?
I was like learning piano in earnest for a while, and I found a video on how to play it on piano. It's like a fucking crazy song. It's out of control.
It's a trippy song. I was I'm going through this top 100 albums of all time, and I'm listening to each one all the way through. So I'm doing this thing in my now I'm 37 years old, and my ADD has fucked with me so much in the past few years, especially with Spotify and Apple Music, that I don't really listen to albums all the way through anymore. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have to buy records. Records, you can skip the songs, but it's a lot harder.
You can scratch a record.
Yeah, and you just have to like sit there, and you have to count the grooves. And you're like, okay, this is track number 3. You have to turn the record over. Just listen to the whole record.
Yeah.
So I didn't. What album is I Am the Walrus on? Rubber Soul?
No, I think it's Magical Mystery, but I could be wrong.
All the Beatle heads are going to be following me home on the way home today.
I'm looking it up.
Our crackpot research team behind the glass is
yeah. It's
is it Rubber Soul?
No, it's Magical Mystery.
Oh
Wait,
shit!
I think so. Yeah, Magical Mystery.
Yeah, you got it. it's a trippy song, and I think like speaking of drummers, like it's a simple beat, but it's like it's such a Ringo beat. It's a
Yeah.
very like it's a simple swing.
Yeah, and we've talked about that with other drummers on the podcast about how underrated he is and how nuanced he was and like how great at recording he was, and given that he usually had anywhere from 2 to 4 mics,
Yeah,
and then you could hear the entire fucking drum set.
it's credit to George Martin, to get a dynamic sound and to get like that dynamic of a stereo sound.
Yeah.
How many factors that goes into how many like intangibles go into recording an album in general, but that's one of the many reasons why the Beatles are talked about still, and they'll always be talked about, is not only their talent as pop writers, but the recording of the how ahead of its time it was. Everybody's still trying to mimic it, and they still can't quite get it right.
Yeah, and it just proves how less can be more.
Sure.
In a lot of circumstances. And I think he had like George Martin had like a really good like spatial mental view, because he was a orchestra conductor or composer like in classical music, and so he could see everything like how it was supposed to be in his head, and then he just made that like that depth of field for audio. And yeah, he put shit in places where people weren't putting it yet, and experimented, and they added all these different elements to rock music and got what they got, and
then produced all these shitty Beatles records.
Yeah.
God. This album sucked.
So yeah, I learned that on keyboard, and
so back to I Am the Walrus.
and I just cranked the BPMs up and made it faster.
Fuck yeah!
And so this demo I did,
Did you put a preview of that on Instagram?
No, it's.
Is that one of the covers that you put on Instagram?
No, those are different. That song kind of sparked the covers idea, and it was all going to lead up to that cover with like a nice music video, like a professional, well done video. But I had showed my dad's friend Carrie Chester, who has a studio, the demo I did of I Am the Walrus, and it was literally drums, bass guitar, and shitty fucking keyboards with vocals on it. And he was like, we got to do this like a full fucking studio version.
I see a gold record.
Yeah. And so it took a while, but yeah, I've just been lagging on doing it because of, one, Clockwork Percussion, two, because of my commitments to Lemmy Dovato.
Yeah.
So
fuck yeah, Lemmy Dovato.
There's work to be done.
I've never seen a man's feet move so quickly than you playing double kick in that band, my friend.
You said something
Christ,
after
there's fucking smoke coming out of the bottom of your kid.
Yeah, you said some shit after we played this song called Widowmaker at Wayfair one time. You were like, you're like, Max isn't even wearing shoes for this shit.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh man,
it's like funny. When a really tall, good-looking, buff guy stands next to you at a bar, and you're both single, and you're just like, don't stand next to me. That's like when you're playing drums, and you're playing all these fucking perfect little rudiments, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You're so good.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, what was cool about playing with you in Blind Boss, though, was when because I've written my own songs and put my own instrumentation to my songs for years, and then having your perspective on things really changed like the direction that those songs went, and then forever changed the course of like how I put drums to my songs moving forward.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think, we always, as more than just band members, or just, former drinking buddies, and just now sober drinking buddies. That makes sense.
You did give me some water.
Yes, some liquid death severed lime water, which is, big fucking cans those things come in.
Yeah.
A stupid name, but they're so good. Anyway, but like you and I always were able to talk music pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think it was always very fluid. Either what we disagree on, I know there's a band that you don't like, and it's a hot take.
Oh.
There's a band you don't like, and there was a moment I was sitting at the bar and I looked at you and I went, huh. Okay. Not every band is for everybody. There's a lot of bands that a lot of people, people expect me to love, and I'll go, they're good.
I'm wondering which one it is because I feel like I have a lot of those. I feel like I've accrued more.
It's a surprise. It's Black Sabbath.
Oh.
You don't like Black Sabbath.
I'll say now I appreciate them more. I saw Mac Sabbath at the observatory.
The political answer. You're appreciating them more. You
Yeah.
saw Mac Sabbath, huh?
But and some of the songs, I mean, it's just so ubiquitous now. It's like fucking like that, what's the Led Zeppelin song in the beginning of Ragnarok?
Immigrant Song?
Immigrant Song, you know what I mean? Like it's every like a Pepsi commercial will have a Black Sabbath song now, It's like, here's Ozzy biting a fucking stuffed animal bat, and it's so ingrained in the
Rawlings baseball bats.
yeah, just in like our society now that it's inescapable, and I appreciate it. But I'm rarely putting on Black Sabbath, and yeah, I think when I probably said that, I was it was like trying to show off. It's like someone that says I don't like the Beatles.
Oh, the former singer of Black Sabbath, he also sang the theme song to Dog the Bounty Hunter. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that actually.
I think his name was Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
What range that guy has, huh?
Yeah. I every time I think about that show, I only think about the South Park episode. And Cartman singing that theme song. You said that, I was like, doing the dog, the dirty dog.
So yeah, but we've always been able to talk music, and
Yeah.
I think as somebody as a duo who can play both guitar and drums, it's refreshing to get some perspective on, it's the same with me. Me playing with you is always you always get a perspective that you don't get from anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been so used to being in bands where like one person wanted to be in charge.
Yeah.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
There's it's their song. It's a song that they wrote, and they have a vision for the band. I'm there to fulfill their vision. I'm not there to take over. But with you and I, it's always very like, hey, this makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. Let's cut the fat on this. Yeah, let's cut the fat on this.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
It was very collaborative.
Yeah, it's very easy to be in a band with you.
Yeah. Well, thanks. And then we got to give a shout out to Sergio Garcia.
Serge
Fulfilled the bass player duties.
He's listening to this while practicing his fire throwing right now.
He was editing Burning Man clips yesterday. I think he said Burning Man like 3 times during the 8-minute conversation.
only that many times? That's it?
Yeah, and
he must have been distracted.
He was like, you should come to karaoke tonight. And I was like, man, if I hung up the phone, I was like, if I go to fucking karaoke, I'm going to call that motherfucker out for how many times he dropped Burning Man during this short ass phone call.
I'm not going to come to karaoke to watch you sing Bloodhound Gang.
I love him though.
Yeah, good man.
So
great
funny.
bass player. Great backup singer too.
Yeah.
Curious Commitment.
Yeah.
I get that fucking song stuck in my head all of the time.
Nice. Yeah.
I get some of your riffs stuck in my head all of the time.
That's cool, man.
I get Toad stuck in my head. Shit.
Yeah, Toad's pretty catchy.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
I actually, I don't know if I ever told you this, but there's a death metal band, a gore metal band called Impaled, and they have a song called Trocar, and I fucking
Trocar.
Yeah, it's like some type of surgical instrument, and I lifted that riff, and it became Toad. Yeah, and it was about an ex, and that song came together pretty quickly, and then I turned it over to you and Serge, and it just fucking, and that's what I mean by predominantly that song, because I think that's kind of what like started the band and made us feel like we can actually like go play shows with a cool song like this type of thing.
Yeah, you always just get, if anybody's out there is trying to start a band, don't force it.
Yeah.
Just have fun with your friends.
Yeah. Well, you made that beat, you made that song like fucking happen, and then we just refined it. And so those, all those recordings are on. If you search Chameleon Technology on Spotify, the self-titled record, I think it was like 2016. All those songs are on there. A lot of them.
Rad.
Yeah.
Rad.
Dig back in.
Cool.
What type of drumsticks do you use, Ryan?
I use Vic Firth 5A wood tips.
Cool.
Fuck the nylon tip bullshit. I don't understand why drummers like nylon tips.
Yeah, some people actually hit the cymbals with the tip of their sticks, and I think they're insane.
That's an insane thing to want to do. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like people play a D wrong. People play a D chord wrong. The D chord has been taught wrong this whole time.
How do you mean?
There's no video of this, but the way a D chord is usually taught is with certain fingers.
Yeah.
But the way that I learned it was I just mirrored what I thought was the right one. And it's so much easier to go to a D minor. You don't have to, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
okay.
There's just the way that I play a D,
Just
I
put
think
your index finger down or something?
yeah, you just slide it up to the one.
You
know what I mean? Like it's just very, so I'd never understood why people ever played, playing a D is much like playing with nylon tipped drumsticks. Why make it harder for yourself?
Yeah, and then if you like lose the nylon tip, then you're just stuck with a fucking
You're just a dick without a condom, man.
a dick without a head.
Yeah, there it goes.
Zero feeling.
It was 100% shaft.
Yeah, because when I hit the ride cymbal, I'm using the shoulder, the side of the stick, and then I like I barely ping. I like bell and crash, and then same with the fucking hi-hats. I mean, like I'll use the tip when I need to, but like punk and metal, like nah, not happening.
No, not in my corner.
Yeah, psychotic. Who's your favorite drummer?
Ooh, I knew this question was going to come up, and I have a couple answers for you.
That's okay.
Keith Moon for his chaos.
Yeah.
Topper Headon from The Clash.
Ooh.
For his crispness.
That's a first mention.
No one plays a fucking hi-hat in a snare in a rock and roll band like Topper Headon did. He just, when you listen to Tommy Gun, you know the song Tommy Gun by The Clash?
I don't think so.
It's the simplest on the snare. It's a simple intro, but the way that he plays it like a march, like he's going to war. It's just fucking, he's a great drummer. So Topper Headon, Hal Blaine.
Ooh. Wow, no one's mentioned that either, dude.
Well,
I'm surprised.
Hal
That's
Blaine,
a great one.
Hal Blaine was on 5,000 number one singles.
He would have 2 or 3 drum kits set up every day because they'd be wheeling them back and forth between sessions.
Yeah, dude. Like I would be doing so much cocaine in 1970 or 1966 if I were him. Like he would just he was just in so much demand. I mean, the whole Wrecking Crew was. He named the Wrecking Crew. Yeah. So he, there's a song he's on, and I didn't know it was him until I found, I knew who Hal Blaine was, and I read more about him. There's a song, "The Boxer" by Simon and Garfunkel. La da da, la da 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 da. It's a very soft, sweet song, and then right after the la da da, whack, and it's just this thunder. It's just it just sounds like fucking like the clown in Slipknot hitting a beer can with a fucking baseball bat, but in a church. So the story was he had the drum set up in a service elevator at Columbia Studios, and he was listening to the song, and it was nothing but reverberation. So if you listen to that song, it's a very light song, and then you hear Hal Blaine coming in. It's not really a beat. He just kind of comes in and just hits shit, and it's like you remember it.
Okay.
He's a drummer that you remember his contributions, and as a drummer, that's very hard. It's "Be My Baby" by the Ronettes. You play that, everybody knows it's "Be My Baby." It's not that difficult of a beat, but that's Hal Blaine.
It's iconic.
It's iconic, and I don't know his name. The drummer, James Brown's drummer, for years.
Oh.
What was his name? Greg Arico from Sly and the Family Stone. He was a great drummer too. DJ Bonebreak from X. You know, Josh Freese.
Yeah. Clyde Stubblefield?
That's it.
Yeah.
Clyde Stubblefield, the most sampled drummer in history.
Oh, why? The Amen break?
No, yeah. I mean, does he you know, every hip hop song from 1977 to 1995, you know, every third hip hop song was one of his breakdowns.
Okay.
It was all Clyde Stubblefield. You know, he was, and to be James Brown's drummer,
Yeah.
you gotta have nerves of goddamn steel to be James Brown's drummer.
Yeah,
you know?
that guy was something else.
Yeah, and you'd listen, just tight, really tight, you know, his ghost notes, his shuffles.
Mm-hmm.
So him, DJ Bonebreak from X, another favorite drummer of mine.
Okay.
Ian Pace from Deep Purple.
Nice.
Fucking great drummer, too.
Yeah, dude. Highway Star.
Highway Star, fucking Burn. The song's 9 minutes long, and it's just Ian doing fucking drum solos during the verses, and it's just insane. Like, you think about how they recorded this shit 40 years ago. Like, you just have a shot of brandy and just give it another shot.
I got to dig into some Deep Purple. That's
It's worth it.
I feel like that's like a true love that's been waiting for too long.
Get the Richie Blackmore. What was the first lead singer? Ian something. Ian Gillan, I want to say. I'm not a huge Deep Purple nerd, but the last couple years was like I asked myself the same thing. I should listen more Deep Purple. What am I doing with my life? Because I think Highway Star was on. I was like, this fucking song is so good.
It's so fucking good.
It's so good.
The solo, like you have when you.
Oh my god,
it's
Richie Blackmore's guitar work on that record is just insane.
Yeah, it's like Tombstone. If it's on, it's like, I guess I'm watching Tombstone now.
Yeah.
Can't get out of the car till Highway Star's over.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, also Goodfellas, you know. Goodfellas on TNT. All right, sticking
Yeah.
around for another hour.
What kind of drum set do you play?
I have a Gretsch. I traded, and I fucking really regret this. I traded my Catalina Club kit, my tiny little Gretsch Catalina Club, for a bigger Catalina Club, or for a bigger Gretsch. I think it's a regular Catalina. And I traded my old bandmate Matt. And I kind of wish I hadn't done that. I missed the tiny kit. I played Atama for a long time. Atama Rockstar.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
So the one that you have now is that silver and black striped one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still got that one. Still got my Gretsch.
Cool. What's your dream kit?
My dream kit is any Ludwig from, mid 60s to mid 70s Ludwig or Sonar.
Yeah.
Or Slingerland.
Yeah.
I love the vintage kits. I love Ludwigs.
For sure.
Ludwig and Slingerland, I think, make the best snares. Do you still have that old Slingerland?
It's here.
Is it here?
Yeah.
We're playing that. Can I play it after this?
Absolutely. You
Fuck
can play
yeah.
my Ludwig Superphonic or my
Ooh,
Slingerland.
Superphonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Albert Ludwig. I don't think that's his name. Ludwig, but yeah, like I don't know what model, but give me a fucking 1969, Ludwig.
For sure.
Happy man.
Yeah, and you're one up, one down, two toms, right?
One up. I like a simpler kit, but I do if I had the money, I would buy one fuck off floor tom.
Cool.
Like a big boy. Some people have like a gong behind them.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I want like a 24-inch floor tom.
Damn.
I
okay.
want something deep.
Nice.
Like I want it to be guttural, like boom.
Yeah.
Like almost like a sound effect.
Well, some guys are doing. It's just that. It's like a kick drum, like a fucking 22 or a 24-inch kick drum, and it has the wood hoop, off to the side as like an auxiliary kick that they hit with their hands.
Rad.
Yeah.
I like that. See, I like if I also like my dream kit. I would have an entire like percussive section where I have
Okay.
timbal like rototoms. I don't think I would ever use the rototoms, but might as well throw it in there. But like, have some timbales or some wood blocks, different size cowbells, things like that. Just like to have something, just to add some texture and something interesting. A small little area.
Yeah, yeah. I've been like trying to play other people's songs again recently, and I was like, "Fuck, I really want to play along to Little Sister by Queens," and I don't have that block, so it's like not possible. you know, the tick, 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 derek, derek, derek. You can't do it with like a rim shot or a fucking ride bell. It's like it has to be that noise.
Yeah, it's got to be a muted cowbell.
Yeah.
You know.
That's probably what it is. Huh?
Yeah, I think it's a cowbell with like a little tiny little rag inside.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have a lot of sustain. It's almost like a
No.
wood block. It's just like a quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. Another iconic beat.
Yeah. Troy Van, what's his name? Who's the drummer for?
Joey Castillo.
Joey Castillo, who plays drums for
The Bronx.
the Bronx now,
Yeah.
which is like the perfect place for him.
Yeah. And now Queens has John Theodore from Mars Volta, who's fucking
Great drummer,
incredible.
shitty band, but not a huge Mars Volta fan.
Their first record is it for me, and then anything really past that, it's just like singles.
They have a lot of good songs. A lot of good songs. They're one of those bands I think that
It's very self-indulgent.
you would like them more than me because you, I think, have more of you like an organized, like hell math, crazy fucking shit happening like a ship, like a cannonball through a ship.
Yeah.
You just want splinters of fucking drums and guitar and you have much more of a jazz brain. You got a rock and roll brain, but it's a lot more jazz than rock and roll. And I think bands like that, like it's perfect. Like Ryan Hessel. Ryan Hessel loves Mars Volta.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And when I play with Ryan Hessel, if Ryan's listening, when I play with Ryan Hessel, the way that he writes songs, Ryan Hessel writes 8-minute long songs that are just like, okay, so the first 7 measures are 3/4, and then we go into a 4/4 for like half a beat, and then we're gonna go into like a 6/5. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I have to as not really an experienced drummer, I just have to remember all this because he just changes things around, and it's incredible. Like it's so much fun to try to keep up. So when I listen to Mars Volta as a drummer, I go, okay, I'll try. Let's go for it. Fuck it.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I remember you telling me that he writes music like that, and we were going to jam. That needs to happen.
Yeah, he found a girlfriend, so we both fell into the girl hole.
Yeah.
I meant that in a G-rated way.
Yeah.
I don't have sex before marriage. Still a virgin.
What does drumming mean to you?
Oh, drumming is one of the purest forms of self-expression. One of the selling points I would have for my kids, the young kids who didn't know if they wanted to play drums or not, I go, you can hit something and not get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are the most important member of the band. You can have 4 of the best musicians on earth on guitar and bass and keyboards. If you have some schlemazel, some schlemiel on the kit who can't keep a fucking who can kind of keep a beat, your band's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about a drummer that's like, we've all seen those drummers, like even people who aren't seasoned musicians. We've all seen that one drummer and we just kind of go,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got it. You're so important. And to know how important you are in a group, that's such a pure form of self-expression. And I think that it's being a drumming or percussion rhythm is so unique because it's something that everybody can recognize.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that everybody can dance to. That's what drumming means to me.
I love that. Bringing up dancing is rad because I just was talking with Mike Wilson from Shape Pataki on the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Mikey.
He said,
Great fucking drummer too.
great drummer.
Let's talk about good drummers. Like
I was so impressed by everything he had to say, man. He started his studio when he was 19. He's toured with all these bands. He's in 3 bands. You know, he's got all these vintage kits.
he's so annoying.
It's rad, dude. No, but
Mike's
he's
so
super,
annoying.
He's
so
so
good
fucking
at everything.
humble.
He's so good at everything. Like he's so like he's very humble. Like you would not expect, you know, the level of accomplishments. And he just has like as a raw. He hits, you know, another thing that you and I both share, something that Mike also shares, raw power.
Yeah.
Like when we get behind the kit, fucking hide your goddamn wives. You know what I mean? Like no cymbal and no drum head is safe around us. Like it's just like,
Amen.
I'm gonna fucking kill you tonight.
That's how we stay so fucking Bruce Banner, dude.
That's right.
So what he said that about dancing, it was something that Franz Ferdinand said, and they're like, our number one job is to make girls dance.
Sure.
And I was just like, that's my dad's always told me that, like all the music that I listen to your point of like the crazy shit, Dillinger Escape Plan, you know, and my dad's like, you know, you're never gonna make money unless girls are dancing, right?
You know, I remember I had a friend in high school. He wanted to come over and jam. It's like a Saturday afternoon. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna come over around noon. Bring my guitar. Let's fucking jam." I go, "Sure, yeah, whatever you want." So he comes over. He's playing he takes out his guitar. It's an acrylic green BC Rich.
Fuck yeah.
See-through acrylic green BC Rich. I don't know. The hammer, whatever the fucking whatever the
Mockingbird.
Yeah, whatever the model is called. Playing through a Line 6 Spider. Woo! Fucking I was like, yeah, put that shit on to fucking ultra distortion, baby. Let's go fucking hard.
Let's go bleach our tips.
And in the first song you wanted to play, it was a band I never heard of called Dillinger Escape Plan. And the song was 43% Burnt.
What the fuck, dude?
And I remember going like, and that was his favorite band. He didn't listen to anything but Metallica and Dillinger Escape Plan. And I went, are you ever going to go on a date? Are you going to put this on with, like, for your date? 43% Burnt, like word?
Right.
Like this is all you listen to? Like, not cool that you love it. Like, it's fun to play drums to. It's fucking, and Dillinger Escape Plan is one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
100%.
Like, pure energy.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the only fucking band you listen to, like, you gotta put some Curtis Mayfield on, baby. You know what I mean? Be the like, have that and have like the total opposite, like some ABBA.
Yeah, totally. Do you have any tips that you'd like to impart upon the listenership?
Tips?
Yeah, additional tips besides your earlier lesson tips, like just anything about drumming that you think might help.
Never play cards with a man named after a city. That's a big tip. They're always gonna get you. Never drink clear alcohol. Tips, you know. Always find joy in everything that you do. I think that with, you know, seeing a lot more bands in LA, a lot of bands that like have a kind of a local following, and they're not trying to get big, but you know, they're trying to make a name for themselves in LA, which is a pretty crowded place already, and there's not a lot of elbow room. And I think what differentiates between the bands that I think are not the ones that are going to be the most famous, but the ones that people are going to remember the most, are the ones that have the most fun doing it. Being honest in your trade. Doesn't matter what kind of music you play. I love all kinds of music. If you're honest in how you're telling it, you know, Taylor Swift. People give shit. You know, my friends give me a lot of shit for liking a lot of Taylor Swift songs. Those are her songs.
Totally.
She wrote those songs, and that's fucking insane that she can write that many pop songs. She wrote it, not an army of producers.
Yeah.
She wrote them.
Yeah, to be that big and to be that self-sufficient.
Yeah. I can't write songs like that. And she writes it from a pure place.
Right.
You know, there's a Taylor Swift machine for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the most like saccharine laced pop I've ever heard in my life. But,
Sure.
like, the fact that she's able to like create that, and like there's instead of an army of producers, it's an army of fucking pubescent girls. You know?
Yeah,
It's
she,
like,
you know, she
damn.
there was a story. Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes, you know, producer extraordinaire. You know, she's ghostwritten a fucking million #1 hits. She was, you know, given an interview saying, talking about Taylor Swift, and the only part that I remember from that was how she was asked by Taylor Swift to come to the studio to help her with a song. She was stuck on a song. She was stuck on a couple songs. She needed help. And Linda expected to go to a studio and find like a fucking army of songwriters and 5 producers and, you know, a gaggle of people around her trying to, you know, write the next #1 hit song. And it was just her in a studio with a piano,
Wow.
figuring shit out, needing help. And I thought, like, that's a story I like to hear about anybody. You know, that's
For
an
sure.
honest. It's honest.
Yeah.
So anybody out there who's making music, who gives a shit what people think? I want to know what you think.
Yeah. That's like the hardest part, is doing it for you. I mean, not for everyone, but for most people,
Yeah.
you know, with anything. Another cool thing about Taylor Swift that I just learned is that for her recent tour, every person that is working on the tour,
Got a bunch of money.
$100,000 bonus.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
like,
That was like
what?
$8 million she gave away or something like that. Like
How fucking
an
dope is that?
extraordinary amount of money. Yeah, it's great. You know, at the same time, those tickets were like, the cheapest ticket was $300 or something.
Wow.
You know, and it was every night was sold the fuck out.
Good
Like
for
that was
her,
a
man.
huge tour. Yeah, good for her. I'm happy for her. You know, it's not my kind of music, but there's some Taylor Swift tunes I like. I don't care.
That's the thing, is like,
I don't care anymore.
whenever I hear a Taylor Swift song, like I'm really oblivious to it, and then, who is this? Oh shit, it's Taylor Swift. I'm like, fucking good song. Like, from a pop perspective,
There's a couple bangers.
yeah, dude. And it's like Bruno Mars. Now I'm just like a Bruno Mars fan, because he's like, and he can play fucking drums.
Yeah, fucking great drummer.
That
And,
Super
you know,
Bowl show?
speaking of drums, this is a drumming podcast after all. Shake It Off. Fucking great beat.
Yeah.
A great beat. It's kind of hard to play. It takes a second.
Dude, a lot of that stuff, you'd be surprised at how I was learning a bunch of material for a band that I never ended up joining. My buddy was like, you gotta learn 4 hours of music. And I learned
Here you
like,
go.
yeah, I learned like 2 hours worth of music. And I was just in here in this room fucking woodshedding, dude. And the Bruno Mars songs were like the hardest ones. And I tried to get like all the easy stuff out of the way first. And I was like, oh, Bruno Mars, finally. Okay, like I'll be able to chip away at some of this. And I was like challenged. You know?
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of a song that's not easy, and a fucking name goddamn escapes me. It's not Dave Weckl, but it could be. Played drums on 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. One of the hardest, you know 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover?
I don't know. Who's that by?
It's Paul Simon.
Oh, no.
Oh man. That fucking song, we'll play it after this. It's very soft. It's a very soft drum. There's so many things going on. I have been practicing this song for 10 years. I practice it maybe once every 6 months, if that. So, you know, I've only tried it a few times. I can't get it down. I cannot get this goddamn drum. I can't do it. And it's very challenging for a lot of drummers. That's another drummer I also like. But not that big of a fan if I can't remember his name.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy's good.
Sweet, man. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, mention?
You look very handsome tonight, Max.
Oh, thanks, man. I was thinking the same thing about you. No homo, but
That's how we got to end it.
yeah, dude.
Let's just talk about how good looking we are.
We're a couple silver foxes.
Hey,
now,
look at
dude.
us. We're cruising into our 40s with a fucking out of a shotgun, baby. Some people are riding their little tricycle to the finish line. Cranking this thing to 88.
Oh man, Ryan, pleasure having you, sir.
Pleasure having you, baby.